In this video, I'm going to walk you through how I made over $11,000 in a single trade during the New York session with NFP volatility. I'm going to break down step by step from the top-down analysis to the exact trade execution. But first, I want to share some incredible achievements from my community who are hitting consistent green days. They're even passing funded challenges, which is exactly what my mentorship is about. Now, these successes aren't isolated. They are happening across my community because I focus on strategies that truly work. I guide each member through every step, ensuring they have the tools and the insights to succeed. Some students even joke about only having 4 green days in a week. Isn't that amazing? It's a testament to how high they've set their goals. Plus, as I said, students are passing funded challenges, which is exactly what my mentorship is about. Okay? Students are hitting amazing results, 250 pips. These guys are trading just like me now, 250 pips, and then another 120 pips, right? Multiple trades in a single day, hitting hundreds of pips per day, okay? This is what my mentorship is about. Now, let's dive in to the specifics of how I executed that $11,000 trade. I'm going to walk you through my analysis, the entry, and my decision-making process. So first, let me just give you a high-level overview, right? This is the post I posted inside the community after my trade was executed. I posted this setup prior to executing the trade as well, okay? But basically, the high-level overview, and we'll talk about each one of these points in detail, was that on a daily basis, we were bullish on the day, okay? Now, prior to the news, we had clean equal highs, okay? So if I open up my chart here, clean equal highs, right? This is basically prior to the news. You can look at the time below, okay? We're prior to the news, right? And so we had clean equal highs, which is going to be the draw on liquidity, okay? But it's about being patient, waiting for the setup. It doesn't mean we risk capital and get into the position prior to the news announcement. We still need to wait for the setup, okay? That's the most important component, right? Because NFP has elevated risk, and so you only want to enter if you have a setup and you have a clear draw on liquidity, okay? So here's what I've said. I'm waiting for an absolute bargain price. That means I'm waiting for price to drop to some kind of discount, PD array, okay? If we don't get that, right, then there's no entry, right? If there's no bargain, I'm not going to buy anything. I want to buy gold at wholesale. So I'm waiting, and boom, gold is down at a wholesale price. It's at a discount PD array, and the buy side liquidity is still intact. So let me show you what I've posted here, right? So gold drops down to this fair value gap, as tiny as it is, but identifying that level, okay, is important, right? That's what I'm waiting for. So gold drops down to a discount PD array, okay, and then I pounce. Right, I pounce because I know the draw on liquidity once we are down at discount, okay, where I want to be a buyer, so I execute, right, and I expect minimum target to go back up to premium pricing. Why is that premium pricing? Because everybody, retail traders, are short from these levels, and above those levels reside stops, okay, buy side liquidity, right? They've got buy stops above that level, okay? So I can therefore accumulate my long position at a discount, okay, and offset my long position at a premium where everybody, right, retail traders have buy stops. That's exactly what I did, okay? So if we now go back to the group chat inside of VIP, right, that's exactly what I did. I bought down here and I sold up high, okay? So even with slippage, there's a bit of slippage, right? I got in at 2855, even though this is 2852 because there's a bit of slippage, right? Even with slippage, I was able to lock in over $11,000 on that trade. Now, let me talk about why we were bullish on the day. And that wasn't my only trade on Friday. I had a whole bunch of other trades that I didn't even talk about, right? So these were my NFP trades, okay? Then I also had a trade back up to high of the week, right? 2855, okay? Now, the cool thing here is my students are trading just like me. So this student here, back up to the high of the week, locked in 250 pips, right? Down low, sold high. So that is what mentorship is about, right? My students are trading just like me. They're learning the strategies that I'm teaching, okay? And they're now capitalizing on that knowledge. Now, let's talk about why I was bullish on the day, because that's important, okay? Because if you look at the notes that I've just gone through, that key component of that trade was that we were bullish on the day. So I'm looking for a drop to a discount to be able to accumulate my position and be able to then offload that position at a premium. Why was I bullish on the day? It's this here. And I mentioned this on Twitter prior to us moving above, right? I mentioned this on Twitter, right? That this was important, okay? Before this move up to the high of the current week, posted this clear directional bias where on the daily chart, look on the right-hand side, we've come into a discount PD array on a daily chart, right? That fair value gap on a daily chart is discount PD array. And so therefore from that discount, we're expecting to get back up to external range liquidity. Okay. So I posted this quite early on Twitter profile, and that is essentially why I was bullish on the day. So if I now drop to a daily chart on the chart, so I can show you exactly why we were bullish on the day. And that was the entire premise of the trade. If I was not bullish on the day, I would not have taken that NFP setup. Okay. So you can see here, right? This is on the day where we've taken liquidity, okay, we've taken a previous daily low, right, and we've come into this fair value gap on a daily chart. So therefore, we're coming to internal range liquidity, and we're expecting market to now go to external range liquidity, and that's exactly what Friday did. Okay, so that was the overall directional bias. Now, the important thing to note is that news announcements typically trade in the direction of the higher time frame. So higher time frame, we are bullish. Okay, so any type of news announcement that I want to trade, okay, and take advantage of, I want to trade in alignment with the higher time frame. Okay, so when I see that we have equal highs above, buy side liquidity, okay, that is still intact prior to a news announcement, I'm expecting the market, right? So this all here is buy side liquidity, equal highs, and we are down here, right? This is prior to the news, okay? The time's down here. This is prior to the 8:30 news. So I'm expecting that is going to be the draw on liquidity, but I don't accumulate positions prior to the news. I want the market to give me a good entry, right? I want the market to first manipulate and drop, and I need it to drop to some kind of a discount, which is this fair value gap, 2852. That's where I hit the buy button once the market dropped down to that level. Now, I was expecting there to be slippage because of the high volatility, right? And that's why, even though I hit the buy button down at 2852, my entry was actually 2855, right? So that's a fair amount of slippage, but it didn't matter because my expectation is that even though we got that drop down to 2852, we would still move higher. There was enough in that range to move higher, right? So it's this here. Okay, so you can see after the news release, we dropped down into this level, which is a discount PD array, and that's exactly where I want to be a buyer. If we did not get that initial drop down to that level, then I would not have been interested in this setup, right? I would not have taken a position to offset any longs above the market. I needed the market to come down to a discount PD array, okay? I needed the market to first manipulate and drop down to a level where I would be comfortable to be a buyer, and then be able to offset positions at a higher price. And as you can see from my other trade on Friday, I had a runner to take out high of the week, okay, which was my position was taken off at 2885, this one here, okay? So there were other trades that also did on that Friday, but I only need to talk about one of them, which is the one that I've spoken about in this video that I'll be journaling soon on my Twitter profile, okay? So if you're ready to elevate your trading and experience this kind of success, I invite you to join my mentorship program. Now, it's an investment in yourself. It's as simple as that. Many of my students find the value they receive is tenfold, making the initial investment small in comparison. But let me ask you, what would you pay to consistently generate 100 pips or more per day and have 4 or 5 green days each week? Think about what that could mean for you. Living your 9-to-5 grind, moving into your dream home, driving the car you've always wanted, or even funding your causes that you care about. Let's unlock that potential together. The link to join the mentorship program is in the description of this video below.